Welcome to a long-awaited video. Mic check looks good. Noise floor check looks great. Excellent. So this is going to be a EngineerKit video. Looks like I haven't made a video in 10 full days. Yeah, it just kind of slipped off my list of things to do for a while. So the EngineerKit video, I'm going to jump around a little bit, which is something that is meant to occur. So I'm going to jump first to the back. What the heck? Oh, that's next. Okay. I'm going to first jump to the cloud providers section of EngineerKit. So first I'll go to EngineerKit. And I'm working out of a fork, so I can just edit it at will. So if I go to repositories here, we see I got 15 repositories, and one of the repositories is EngineerKit right here, forked from the original. So if I go under modules, and then this is under infrastructure. Yeah, so actually cloud providers is the one I've already been working on. So let's try to knock off some more resources from the list. So I finished the Amazon services video. I finished the Kubernetes introduction video, and then the Kubernetes explained in 100 seconds video. So let's keep on Kubernetes and then do the Kubernetes starter kit tutorial. Okay, so it looks like this is a whole book here. So I'm gonna just start with the README here, and then move on to part one. First, I'll check if there's any branches. Looks like there's a lot of branches, but we'll just stick to the main branch. All right, so day 2 operations ready, digital Kubernetes, DOKS for developers. And I have talked a little bit on this channel about I do have ADHD, and or you know, whatever I have, I do have. So I've been trying to find my magic potion. I've talked about it a lot. One of the things I haven't tried is ADHD accessibility tools. I think those could help me. Whether I have ADHD or not, I don't know. Whether ADHD even exists anymore, I don't know. I was diagnosed with ADD when I was very young, but that does not exist anymore, so I have no idea. What I would like to do, though, as I mentioned, is try a accessibility extension for ADHD and see if that helps me focus. So already it's kind of doing a bad job because I don't have the extension installed. It looks like I used to have it installed, but now it is not installed. So it's already kind of wasting a bit of time. I think it is worth it to see if I like it better, and because the one thing I can do as well is I can go back to where I read something in these video series and see if I read it better or worse after using this extension. So I'm gonna pause it, get the extension installed, and then come back and use the extension. All right, I'm back. So the extension is Hyperbold. I had it installed, but I had it deactivated. It looks like the first review here says that it doesn't work. It was working for me before. It wasn't working for PDFs, online textbooks, etc., which is where I would really need it, but I could use it for something like this. I have gotten it to work before, but it looks like for some reason right now it doesn't work for me either. There's really nothing I can do with this menu that didn't render properly. I could try maybe shrinking it down and seeing if that fixes it, and then expanding it. but it looks like it's just this menu doesn't work. So I see a refresh button there. I can try clicking that. Doesn't do anything. I see, I can change the color options here. I can do some things in this menu, but yeah, the extension just is completely broken. So I'm going to go ahead and uninstall that again. And unfortunately, it was an exciting extension for me. So let's just type in ADHD. Maybe there's another extension that actually does work. Okay, and now I'm searching in my extensions, so I need to just search in the the web store. So ADHD. Okay, so here's one for 3.9 stars. It looks like it's the first one. So yeah, this looks like it does kind of the same thing. All right, so I think I'm gonna try this one instead. It looks like the first review is much better. You never know if reviews are made up or not, if they're done in good faith or not. But I'll try this one instead because I want to have that comparison. But the one that I was using before, I do need to uninstall that because it just doesn't work. And it was called Hyperbold. Here it is. So I'm going to remove it from Chrome. All right, and now I've got the ADHD reading help installed. So hopefully that one is better. So I think I need to refresh the page to get my latest extension showing up. Oh, here it is. So I gotta click on it to give it access, and it looks like something is really going wrong. It's not. It looks like it's more than just the extension itself. It looks like it's actually something is going wrong with my actual computer because I can't click on these. Yeah, it's not so simple. I can click on these other ones, but I can't click on these here. Oops. Well, I can click on that one. But ADHD reading help, it looks like there's... Oh, I was able to click on it there. But see, even when I clicked on it, it's... Oh, okay, perfect. Hey, look at this. So yeah, this is basically what it does, is it puts the first few letters in bold so that you can more easily center your eyes on the start of each word, and then everything's kind of more everything's less uniform, so your mind will wander a little less. So yeah, this is great. Let's try it. So day 2, operations ready, DigitalOcean Kubernetes, DOKS for developers. So there was a video webinar on this. There's also a guide here, automating GitOps and continuous delivery with DigitalOcean Kubernetes. So it looks like the video here is an hour and 15 minutes. That's too long for me. And then this one is an hour and 15 minutes as well. That's too long just for this section of the video. In this tutorial, we provide developers a hands-on introduction on how to get started with an operations-ready Kubernetes cluster on DigitalOcean Kubernetes, DOKS. Kubernetes is easy to set up, and developers can use identical tooling and configurations across any cloud. Making Kubernetes operationally ready requires a few more tools to be set up, which are described in this tutorial. Resources used by the starter kit include DigitalOcean Droplets for DOKS cluster, DigitalOcean Load Balancer, DigitalOcean Block Storage for persistent storage, DigitalOcean Spaces for storage object, Kubernetes Helm charts. So these are some examples of some Helm charts. Let's look at the Loki stack Helm chart. All right, and then back to the reading. Okay, notes. The main branch should generally work. Just note that it is being frequently updated. If you want to be safe, pick a specific tag version. Oh, and it looks like my ADHD thing stopped. So I actually in my mind read this as spick, like or like. So in my mind, what happened is I jumbled things up in my mind. So I think that extension actually was working quite a bit. Let me enable it again. And it's very hard to enable. Might need to refresh. Okay. There we go. So now the extension was enabled and now it's disabled again. So I think I just need to give it some time, which unfortunately anyone knows if you have ADHD, just sitting and giving something a little bit of time is not good. Okay, here we go. So now the format's all different. Or yeah, now it's all scrunched here and stuff. Man, see, the worst thing about this is like I think this was working quite a bit. But anyway, main branch should generally work. Just note that it is being frequently updated. If you want to be safe, pick a specific tag version corresponding to the DOKS release. Tags specific points in a repository's history when an important change applied. I think this is meant to be specify instead of specific. Hold on a second. Okay, so remember to verify and delete the resources at the end of the tutorial if you no longer need those. Operations ready setup review. Below is a diagram that gives a high-level overview of the starter kit setup as well as the main steps. Alright, so let's take a look at that. And I can't with the extension enabled, so I'm going to disable the extension. And wait for the change to occur. Alright, and the change just isn't occurring. Okay, the change occurred after a few seconds. And the change that occurred was it shrank the page. And then it looks like it applied the things twice. So what I need to do is disable the extension or pause it in some way. And it looks like there's no way to pause the extension. So it looks like it just doesn't work the way it's meant to work. So I think I'm going to remove it from Chrome. It could be a user error. You know, I'm just not using it in the way they intend. But this is, as somebody with ADHD, presumably, I don't know for sure, having to go through all of this just so I can read one sentence a little easier is not worth it. So below is a diagram that gives a high-level overview of the starter kit setup as well as the main steps. Okay, and now I'm in a different part of the page, so I'm going to need to click back to go back to where I was. Okay, and now I'm in a different part of the page again than where I was, so I need to scroll down to get back to where I was reading. Okay, and here was where I was reading, so I'll read the sentence again. Below is a diagram that gives a high-level overview of the starter kit setup, as well as the main steps. So I'm going to click over here so I get rid of this menu. Alright, and now we'll look at the diagram. So it looks like user traffic comes in, it goes into a load balancer, and then from there it gets multiplexed. It goes to DigitalOcean DNS. And then it goes over to the Nginx controller, which is part of the docs cluster. And to the echo service, the quote service. I can't read this. I think it says metrics. Yeah, okay. I think it says metrics. It's very hard to read. This here is easy to read. This is the easiest to read. And they both say metrics and it looks similar. So I'm guessing this says metrics, which is great. Yeah, and then it goes into Prometheus, which is a monitoring tool that requires metrics to be fed to it. So yeah, metrics. Then more metrics go into Grafana to build up dashboards. then Loki, which is logs aggregation. And now it looks like PromTil runs on its own. Yeah, so PromTil fetches the logs, so it reaches out to the logs aggregation. And then the final step here is DigitalOcean Spaces. This is the Loki storage bucket and the Velero Trello storage bucket. So that's what happens over here. It comes to the Prometheus storage here. And then here, this is interesting as well because this has a unidirectional arrow. So it starts with the control plane ETCO, goes back and forth between the Kubernetes API, and then back and forth in a notify query way between Velero backup/restore and Trello backup/restore. And then it goes out to the bucket, but it also feeds metrics into Prometheus monitoring. So the overview of this diagram is docs cluster setup, which you see here, ingress via Ambassador or Nginx. So we see coming in like that, but we do see things coming in through the control plane as well. Coming into Prometheus. So I'm not sure where it. So it says that it ingresses from Ambassador or Nginx, but it doesn't say where it ingresses to. But we can see it looks like it ingresses to Prometheus. Yep. So Prometheus monitoring is next. Then it logs aggregation via Loki, which is up here, and then backup/restore via Velero or Trello, which is down here. So it's kind of a little bit disjointed, but that's the overview of the diagram. So now here's the table of contents for this resource. The scope is this tutorial demonstrates the basic setup. You need to be operations ready. All the steps are done manually using the command line interface, CLI. If you need end-to-end automation, refer to the last section. None of the installed tools are exposed using Ingress or Load Balancer to access the control to access the console for individual tools. We use kubectl port-forward, and you see how strained my reading was there. I wonder if that ADHD extension tool would have fixed that. It's a shame that I can't use that, but anyway, moving on, we will use Brew on Mac OS to install the required command line utilities on our local machine. And hold on, I gotta erase my desk here. And use the command to work on a DOKS cluster. For any service that gets deployed, we will enable metrics and logs. At the end, we will review the overhead from all these additional tools and services. This gives an idea of what it takes to be operations ready after your first cluster install. This tutorial will use manifest files from this repo. It is recommended to clone this repository to your local environment. The below command can be used to clone this repository. Okay, so I'm going to start there. So I'll open up the CM command prompt like that. I'll go into bash. And that'll take a while. I want to switch to using my treadmill. But it looks like it's ready to go. So let's go to the home directory in Wassel and clone it to here. So this is the command here. All right, and I'm okay with working in main. In fact, that might be good because then we'll see those changes coming in, and that'll be part of understanding version control. So notes for this starter kit, we recommend to start with a node pool of higher capacity nodes, say 4 CPU, 8 GB RAM, and have at least 2 nodes. Otherwise, review and allocate node capacity if you run into pods in pending state. We customize the value files for Helm installs of individual components. To get the original value file, use Helm show values. For example, Helm show values Prometheus-community /cube Prometheus-slack version 30.01. There are multiple places where you will change a manifest file to include a secret token for your cluster. Please be mindful of handling the secrets and do not commit to public Git repositories. A safer method to use is sealed secrets or external secrets operator, explained in Kubernetes sealed secrets. See, I don't know, like maybe that maybe that extension tool will help. What it says here is Kubernetes sealed secrets. The sample manifests provided in the section 14 continuous delivery using GitOps section shows you how to use sealed secrets in combination with Flux ID and reference sensitive data in each manifest that require secrets. To keep the components up to date, Helm provides you the option to upgrade them to latest version or desired version. For example, Helm, this command here, so this full command will keep your components up to date. If you want to automate installation for all components, refer to section 14. Go to section 1 if you're ready to continue. So section 1 here, it says set up Ocean Digital Kubernetes. Yep, there it says set up as well. So let's click here and go to section 1. There we go. So perfect. All right, and let's check. Okay, so this is now done. So I'll move into there. Take a look around a little bit and then do code dot. And let's do this. This might be pretty cool. So let's open here, and then we're going to open a preview. And now let's see if there's an extension for ADHD in here. No extensions found. All right, I'm going to keep reading it from the web. For now, at some point I might switch to reading it in the preview here. You know what? I like the preview better. This is too bright for me. So I'm going to take a break. I want to switch to using my treadmill. I'll be right back. All right, I got the treadmill going now, so should be feeling a lot better. Now we're at section 1 here, the setup DOKS. How to set up a DigitalOcean managed Kubernetes cluster. DOKS for DigitalOcean Kubernetes, and then the S. I don't know what the S stands for. In this tutorial, you will learn how to set up what does the S stand for? A DigitalOcean managed Kubernetes cluster. This acronym does not resolve to this. Okay. Using the command line interface. Then you are going to inspect the cluster state as well as the available features. After completing this tutorial, you will be able to use the doctl command to create and manage docs clusters. Inspect docs clusters state. Note, as an alternative to this chapter, you can use the docs UI to create a cluster. UI is easy to understand and very convenient as well. Table of contents, introduction, prerequisites. So we got the introduction out of the way. Next is prerequisites. To complete this tutorial, you will need a DigitalOcean account. Probably give over a credit card too, but I'm willing to do that this time. On this channel, we've done that many times before. We've gotten to credit card prompts. I have been in a situation recently where if I had gotten over my insecurities and given a virtual credit card that I can delete if there are unauthorized charges on it, I would have had the basic cloud experience I needed. So it's like, yeah, I'll do it. So for now, let's sign up with Google, and hopefully I already have an account. I probably do. And if not, then hopefully I can create one without handing over a credit card. But if I have to do that, I will do that. I'll just do it off camera. And if I have to pay, $30 or so, I'm willing to do that. It's just so frustrating that, I get it. There's server fees. It's like, I get it, and it's an investment. So I just feel like I need to change my mind on this sort of thing. I kind of was taught growing up, if you give away anything online, you're doing something bad. And it's that's kind of true. You should don't put your social security card number up online, but do enter it into a reputable, your health insurance, or do give it in that case. It's not so cut and dry that you need to be so guarded with your information that you're just unwilling to give it for any reason. It's if you get services back for it, if you're investing in something, then yeah, you can offer up what they're asking. Okay, so to complete this tutorial, you will need the account. So let's work on creating the account. How do I plan to use it? I don't know. It's for Docs, right? It's Kubernetes cluster. So it's for infrastructure. Role or business type. I guess consultant. Monthly spend, 0 through 50. Work alone. Manage infrastructure as code. Okay. Yep. So, man, it's so frustrating. So you have to give them a credit card if you wanna complete EngineerKit. If you want to complete this section of EngineerKit, you want to do this, which is part of a generalist skill set. This is, and the really frustrating thing about this for me, there's people who don't have, what's it asking for? It's asking for so you can give it PayPal, or you can give it Visa, MasterCard, American Express. So first of all, this first option is not available to probably 90% of the world. The people in China, India, Africa have Visa or MasterCard. Maybe some do, but okay, we'll cross this one off the list for most people who would benefit from following along with this tutorial. This one, even that, how many people have PayPal? And then the thing is, PayPal goes through your card too. So it's I get that they need money to run their servers. I get that this is a way they can get it. That makes sense. I'm not so naive that everything in the world can be free. But at the same time, it's I just feel like there's got to be a better way, is what I feel like. I feel like there has to be a better way for somebody to just learn the basics. If you're just if you're running a company, then yeah, of course, business credit, credit cards, all of that. But if you're just trying to learn the basics, I feel like putting up barriers like this is like really upsetting to me. But I get it. And I've been here before and I've turned the other way. But I'm going to choose to go forward this time. And hopefully it will pay off. So I'm definitely going to do this off camera. So I'm going to pause, give payment information, and then unpause. All right, so I'm back. So not only do they need, and there's no information, personal information on this, other than I decided to go with PayPal. So personal information is that, well, let's just say this. If you click the PayPal option, you can see that not only do they need to confirm that you have an account, they also need to charge you. And this is a real charge that will stay on your bill. It's a prepayment, but it will be refunded when you make future payments. So not only do you have to give some of the most critical, sensitive personal information you have, your payment information that people can use to just drain your account, and if it's just like your, depending on what card it's on, you might have no liability, no insurance for that. If you're using a credit card, you can claim them as fraudulent charges and just get reimbursed. But if you're using like a debit card, you might have zero protections. It's just, they had access to your information. You shouldn't have given them your information. They drained your whole account. You're now broke. They have all your money. Take it up with them, because it's not fraud. You're using your debit card. You're not using a card that can treat this sort of interaction like fraud. So you should be doing this on a credit card or something like that, where you can report things as fraud. And but the thing is with that is, if you go over your credit card limit, you're going to mess your credit score up. So you have to be able to, and most of these services have that, where you can cap your payments, where you can't like spend more than $50. You'll just shut it down automatically. But if something goes wrong with that, you have to put it on a credit card, because otherwise there's no protection for just draining your account. You can't report it as fraud. And then if you hit that credit card limit, like no matter what, like your score is going way down. So it's just like requires so much. Sorry, I'm about to go into a cloud rant. I'm kind of a trad network engineer. On-prem is kind of what I'm used to, and it just like rubs me the wrong way so much that you would just like, it's like, would you, like, why would you let anyone else in the world like have this? Like I want my own. Like I guess it's like renting a car. Like it makes sense, but it's like, I'm biased to think that cloud is just kind of extortion of your valuable data. But I mean, for you to build your own infrastructures to the same quality as like cloud providers, AWS, like forget about it. Like, yeah, it makes sense to pay to like rent to use the best infrastructure on the planet. Like that makes sense. So try not to play to my biases, trying to make sense of this. But I do have to authorize a $5 charge on my account information. I need to be careful to do that on a account that I can report fraud on and be reimbursed for. And then I need to be careful to do that on an account with like a virtual number, where I can just cancel the number to revoke payment, so I don't have to go through like an expensive or like a really difficult process to revoke my sign up. And then I need to be sure that I can set a limit so that I don't go over my credit amount. So like imagine, someone from developing country trying to do this. Like, forget about it. It's just, that's a reason why this is so lucrative, because, not that many people can do it. But unfortunately, when it comes to learning, I feel like there has to be a better way. But I think this stuff, yeah. Anyway, so I have to do a $5 charge. This is to confirm a PayPal account, so I'm gonna keep working on this. I'll try the other option if I can figure out how to do it without getting a charge. Then I'll talk about that. But going forward, I really don't want to talk about payment information in this way in public, which is unfortunate, because most other learners, like if I had seen a video like this trying to sign up for this, like, oh, it would have been so great, because it's like, are people that insane where they'll just give over their private accounts? And it's like, on the one hand, yes, and that's why they're successful and making twice, 3 times more in income than I am, because they're willing to take risks and get rewarded for their risks. And this is a very small risk. But on the other hand, no, they're not. They know how to do it in a safe way. So yeah, I do not really know how to do it in the safest way possible. But I have been here multiple times before, and I'm going to choose to proceed. So I'm going to pause the video and you know what? I think I'm going to end the video for now. And I'll make a separate video after I've had this account set up and have my payment information set through, because I just really want to think about this for a bit. I do want to move forward because, as I said, I've been at this crossroads many times before. I've made the decision to turn away. That decision I don't think was a good decision. So I'm going to try to make the better decision now, but I'm going to give myself plenty of time to do that. So I'll hopefully have this set up by the end of the day. But that's going to be it for this video. Unfortunately, I hate to do this, but yeah, I'm going to end here on the payment information, and then the next video will be completing the rest of the prerequisites. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.